So the only thing that I can say here is I'm getting corroborations by these three cards, which indicates, the at the heart of this reading is the moon. The moon indicates deception. It's also a situation where you might not have all the answers, but your gut is screaming out, your intuition is screaming out, this isn't the truth, and you need to do some more digging, okay? So trust your intuition. There's something here that you're overlooking, and I do feel for a lot of you, it is a relationship situation, mainly because of the way the people are showing up and with the Nine of Swords, okay? So the only danger that I am sensing here is that I feel that a lot of you are going to move on by the end of this month from a past relationship where there has been a lot of lies, a lot of deceptions, possibly infidelity, because in the past we have Seven of Swords reverse, which means, like somebody telling you a lie, they've been exposed, they apologize, and they're doing it again. It could be a lover, it could be a friend, but I do feel for a lot of you, this is a home relationship partner where you might have lived together or you currently are living together. And because of it, there might be constraints as to that won't allow you to leave. You might have joint property. You might have like an apartment. You might have children. So to me, it's a relationship that has been built up over time. You've accumulated property together. There might be children. So it's a hard situation for you to cleanly extract yourself. So you're being very forgiving of whoever it is or was that is in your midst, mainly because of all the things that will be required of you to extract. So you can't make a clean break, and as a result of it, you choose to stay. Okay, and you're hoping that the other person will change, but your gut is telling you it's not going to change, it's not going to get better. So you really have to be proactive about taking charge of your life and moving forward without them. Because what's crowning you here is the Queen of Wands in the reverse position. So this is going to be you as a fire sign, giving your power away, or not taking charge of, not taking adequate care about not being responsible when it comes to your free will, and knowing that your free will is the only thing that is going to help you extract yourself from this situation. The ends of relationships are always hard, especially when there's property, when there's family members, and where there are children involved. It's always, always difficult. And a lot of people, rationalize in their heads like, I can't get out of this, I can't get a divorce, mainly because the children are going to be sad. A lot of fire signs do this because you are very family roots, children oriented. And I do feel across the board, a lot of Leos and a lot of Sagittarius women in general tend to do this. Aries too, but Aries, once, they've had enough is enough, and they never look back. Once an Aries get angry, they just walk out and they will never look back, okay? So, but I do feel for a lot of Leo mothers, especially, and Sagittarius mothers, when there are children involved, the decisions that you make are greatly, you take into account your children. But the thing here is that if you are in an unhappy marriage, your children are going to be affected as well, adversely. So you really want to make decisions that would be good for everybody, okay? And in the way that I mean, it's like, of course, staying together is going to provide that family, but what quality of life are you really hoping for? Because it's not realistic to expect that, staying in an unhealthy relationship, for example, just to keep the family intact, you feel as if it's enough because you don't want your children to be raised in a broken home. But if you're in an unhappy marriage, unhappy family's life situation, your children are not going to be happy. They're going to feel the emotional neglect, and they're also going to feel the tension in that household, okay? If you are with a partner and you're just staying with them mainly because of the children, or, it's too messy trying to get a clean divorce, you have to rethink rethink your paradigm. I do feel that you're making a lot of sacrifices here in a relationship, and the sacrifices, the choices are taking its toll on you. You're starting to give your power away, and you're starting to lose that sense of footing when it comes to the ability to direct your life. So get back on track when it comes to, being conscious about the choices that you make, and knowing in the greater scheme of things, what's a better choice here. So if you have children and you are debating, whether or not to get out of a marriage because your spouse has been cheating on you, or if you're in a relationship where you're not legally bound up, but you have children with the other person, and you're thinking to yourself that, I'd rather stay and, sacrifice myself so that my children can have a father figure in the picture. This can go both ways. It's not just women, but I do get a lot of female clients that are fire signs dealing with this. So I'm saying, you can be a Leo man and in a unhealthy relationship, and you feel like you should stay mainly because of the children. And that's a really wrong way of looking at this, okay? Don't hold yourself martyr or stuck in a relationship that is not good for you. We are meant to make decisions that fulfill us emotionally. So the children will understand when they get older. They will appreciate everything that you've tried to do, but if you keep playing the martyr, I do feel a vicious cycle here. Queen of Wands reverse, Page of Swords reverse, Six of Swords reverse, not being able to move on, not being able to break out of this vicious cycle, knowing that this is not good for you, but you're not able to break out of it. So Leos, just be very, very careful about the choices that you're making, and about, letting people step all over you. Okay, this is something that I don't really say to, it's weird saying it to a fire sign. Honestly, it's weird. But I know that once children are involved, your actions are like centered around your children, centered around the family unit. You are very, very loyal to people that you've grown up with, that you've known over the years. But if they're not good for you, there is no point in keeping them in your life. So just be very conscious about the progression, the series of you're overlooking a lot of things in order to keep a family unit together. I'm sensing that for a lot of you, and that's not what you need to do. That's not what the universe wants you to do. Take care of your needs, and everything else will fall into place, okay? You have to do what is ethical. You have to do what is right for you, what makes you happy, what nurtures you. Because this relationship, I feel like it's not. So once again, for those of you who are in stable relationships, you might have made a lot of compromises. I do feel a lot of compromises was just, thrown at you. And you might feel that it's not fair for me to do this, because my partner is probably not, having to compromise, or both sides have to compromise, and now the resentment is like surfacing. And if that is surfacing, this is something that needs to be dealt with. If you're in a stable relationship and both sides have been compromising, I do sense that something is brewing up to the surface in order for both of you to address it. And I don't feel there's going to be a breakup in that particular instance, because you both are trying to work things out. But both of you have felt that there's a lot of compromises that were made, okay? There might have been some like disillusionment very recently, like happening, the end of last month during the eclipse season and the first 2 weeks of October. And you're starting to rethink if this is worth it. And you're starting to rethink, maybe we don't have to do this. Maybe there's a better way for us to be together as a family unit or as a couple. So I do sense there's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And don't be afraid to address it, because, changes happen. We have to roll with the punches. But communication is definitely key here, especially with the Moon card as the overall energy. It indicates to me some things need to be brought to light so that you both can resolve it and you both can build a better foundation for yourself. Because if the foundation is the moon, is very shifty. It's very shifty, and that's not a firm foundation, especially if there is property and family members involved. Okay, so be very careful about this. So in terms of the advice here, you have the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords indicates to me a lot of mental energy that is keeping you up at night. It's about being worried, being suspicious, worried, feeling guilt, feeling very emotionally unrattled or unsettled or destabilized. And for a lot of you, there might have been suspicions of cheating spouses. I'm sensing, and I am very sorry for the way that this reading is coming out, but I do feel that, you know, we have the moon, Nine of Swords, Seven of Swords. These are not good cards that I want to see in a relationship spread. So I do want you to be careful about this. If there is a suspicion, talk about it. Okay, so don't sweep things under the rug. Don't let somebody else walk all over you. If you are dealing with an air sign for whatever reason, if you're dealing with like a Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, I normally don't feel that's a good combination for Leos. I don't sense it's a good combination. Libra is okay. So like Leo, Libra, it's probably okay. It's probably stable. Aquarius and Leo, there's a lot of magnetic attraction, but it's very unstable because you're polar opposites. And then Gemini and Leos, I don't feel that's a good match. I don't sense it's a good match. There are other things in your chart that will mitigate the effects, but in general, Leo, Libras, it can work. Leo, Aquarius, it's hard, but it can work. Leo and Geminis, I don't feel that's a good match, okay? So either way, aside from the astrological interpretations, I do sense that if you are grappling with like suspicions, definitely talk about it. If you are dealing with an air sign, I just want you to be careful, especially if there has been lies and instances of infidelity in the past. I do feel that you're sweeping things under the rug and you're returning to a person that might have hurt you in the past with their deception, and you're walking right back into it, okay? Because this is the card of sailing back to troubled waters, not rising above and not letting go. So the advice here is think back at the last time where something similar happened. Think about how it made you feel and learn from it, okay? Process the information and move forward. Because what's in your external environment is a lot of new opportunities. I see potentially new love here. The sun indicates a lot of success. It does indicate a new phase in your life, a very hopeful energy that is really soothing, and it can bring about, you know, just a breath of new energy. So this is something that you're dealing with in your present environment. It proves to me that, you know, things, it's sort of like once you have moved away from something and then doors started opening for you and you're in a really hopeful place, and then you get a quick phone call from your ex who you were in love with, begging you to come back, and you're foregoing all the new opportunities and you're sailing back. It just doesn't make sense. So please be careful about this. If this resonates with you and you feel like, wow, you know, doors are opening for you, and then this ex contacts you out of the blue and you're just like, what do I do? Well, move forward. There's just no mincing words here. Just move on, okay? In terms of your hopes and fears here, I do feel a lot of you are not seeing this situation realistically because we have the Seven of Pentacles. In this deck, it signals to me a relationship that is on equal footing, okay? So this is your hopes. You're hoping for a new relationship that is on equal footing. However, based on the past experience with this person, that was not the case. So you really want to rethink what it is that you're doing here and why you're allowing this energy to cycle through. Now, the Mercury and the Venus retrograde period has been very, very problematic because Venus was oscillating between Virgo and Leos. So a lot of exes, former lovers, and people from your past have been cycling back in as a test. At the end of that period, there was also that eclipse in Libra. So at this point, you have all the information you need to know who to leave behind, okay? So with the information comes the responsibility to act on the information, which means you really have to be the agent of change in your own life. Otherwise, your life is going to feel very stuck and you're going to feel very emotionally unfulfilled and worried, suspicious, and just you're not going to be operating at your best. So the information is there. What we decide to do it is up to individuals' free will. And in this situation, you have to exercise your free will and extract yourself from this, okay? In terms of the outcome position, this is going to go two ways because we do have the Chariot in the reverse position. The Chariot in the reverse position means that you're in a next new phase in your life, so don't go back, move forward, okay? And I do feel a lot of you are taking your time to deliberate this decision. And I do feel for a lot of you, you are going to move on. This indicates propulsion, it indicates progression towards a better future. However, with the Eight of Coins here, there might be some financial considerations that are still tying you together with another person, so you might not be able to act right away, but you are going to act and you're going to leave whoever it is behind in the future. But there's still, in the meantime, some residual impact of financial entanglements that you're still dealing with. So I'm glad to see that a lot of you are moving on. I don't feel that you're going to be looking back, which is really good. Because if you're dealing with Seven of Swords, which indicates deception, lies, deceit, and you're dealing with the Nine of Swords, which indicates worries, anxieties, worries, staying up at night, being really mired in negative thinking and not being able to get a good night's sleep, mainly because you're dealing with a lot of pain, okay? There's no need to do that. So just move forward, okay? So Leos, please take care of yourself. I'm sensing with a lot of Leo mothers, don't be afraid about the children. You're a very good mother. So this is, something coming strongly for Leo single mothers or single fathers out there. You're a very, very good person to your children. You're a very good role model. So if you're thinking that you don't want to get a divorce because you don't want the kids to be without a mother or a father, I do feel that your priorities are misguided, okay? It's okay to get out of an unhealthy marriage because you will step up to be the mother and the father to your children. So you don't have to worry. They're going to be okay, and you're providing a very good role model for them to be proper, healthy, functioning people in society. So don't worry about it, okay? Take care of yourself first. You can't take care of yourself, your kids, if you're unhappy in a relationship. If you're unhappy with some type of a entanglement with another person, you can't be good parents to your kids. You can't be good caretakers to the people that need you, okay? So take care of yourself first. It worries me that you're showing up here as the crowning energy in the reverse position. It means that, you're definitely, this is a fairy godmother card. She is putting in way too much work to nurture something and to end up empty-handed, okay? And that's one of the fears that you're grappling with for this month as well. I've invested so much time, so much resources, so much of my energy and my feelings into this marriage, this relationship. I wanted to pay dividends, and it's like the signs are telling you that your efforts are a little bit misguided, okay? So take active control and change the situation for the better. Demand what it is that you feel you deserve and what it is that you feel that you need in order to be happy.